Okay, here's Scout in his crate. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. And what I've done is set up school for him from about 6:30 to 8:30. And believe it or not, being in his crate is part of being at school. I have removed most of the other toys. He has one very stiff people-shaped toy, but he has Goody Bones, Kongs, and he has a nylabone in there. Now, he's afraid of cars and trucks. He's only 5 months old. What he's doing in there now is working off frustration. I have noticed he takes in so much information from outside, then he needs to process it. And he doesn't do it quickly enough. And so part of his training is to go into his crate with a nylabone, which is over there, and that gives him a way to work out the frustration as he processes the information. Now, these are Kong Goody Bones that I'm going to be using as his main reward. I showed them in the first video. You put the treat in there. And so what we did this morning, I've been only walking him around close to the house because, you know, visually he's so big, but he's only 5 months old. He's a baby. And if this was a 5-month-old Pekingese or poodle or dachshund, you know, we'd all be saying, oh my gosh, he's just a baby. Well, he is just a baby, only he's big. So today, which is the 5th day since he's been here, I took him fully around the block, and the main training tool is to expose him to the traffic up on the main road where everybody's going to work. Now, I've been for the past 3 or 4 days, every time a truck or a bus or something goes by, I've been saying truck, bus, car. And so today, what he did was go all the way up to the traffic. He didn't like it, but he didn't. If he weren't on a leash, he would have bolted out of fear. These are big, huge machines that, you know, he just isn't familiar with. So he got, when we came back, what he's going to work for. He did such a good job by holding it together. We had a school bus stop right next to us, and that was his worst moment, where before that he had been just kind of clinging to me and my leg. That was the moment where he was thinking, well, maybe I better just run. But he didn't. He stayed right where he was supposed to. I had to switch to another camera because the battery ran down on that camera. As I was saying, being in his crate is downtime, and you can see he's drowsy. So he got up at about 5:30. He ate at 6:30, 6:20, and then we went for the walk up to the traffic, and that's like a day's information for him. And then we came back. We did a little bit working with the Goody Bones. And I have them in a bag that they're going to go with me when I take him out, and remind him that when we get home, he gets a treat for behaving. Now, I'm really limiting his toys because what I found was even if I gave him back cloth toys, when he would come back from a walk, he couldn't process everything he had learned outside and was running around like a nut. I have a bookcase that he keeps trying to get behind, which is very dangerous for any puppy. So at some point in the next couple of days, I have to pack up all the books. And I'll leave the empty bookcase there for a few days anyway, and I'm going to put filled Goody Bones around the house and tell him to find. So after a couple of days, he'll know he'd rather have the bone than the bookcase. So by picking out one simple reward tool, I think I'll be able to convey to him what I need him to know. So what I'm finding with this dog at 5 months is completely different than how I trained in some ways. Coco Bean, my other dog, she was 3 years old, and it was just a matter of teaching her my words, my language, the commands. But this guy is learning like a whole new world, because it looks to me like he had been inside, either in a shelter or I don't know where he actually started out, and he's not at all familiar with traffic. He does well with the leashes and stuff, but he thinks they're more toys. So things like that, he has to just understand that, like with the vest, when we want to go out, he has to put the vest on. It's just a matter of teaching him really what goes on in this house, and using the rewards. Now the skateboard, I got the same barking reaction to the weight scale. I wanted to weigh myself and then pick him up and hold him and see if he had gained any weight. He did gain a pound. Personally, I'm a little bit concerned of the foxhound that might be in him, because they get to be, a purebred foxhound can be 65 pounds, which is a much bigger dog than I was thinking. So we're all hoping he's a beagle in a foxhound suit, which means he wouldn't get all that much heavier, but it would explain why he's tall. You know, he's almost 20 inches at the shoulder, which is big. The larger beagles are, I think, 15, with the miniature beagles being 13 inches tall at the shoulder. So he's big, and that makes it all the more important to get him trained quickly. So when I had the same reaction with the scale as the skateboard, I then corrected him. It was not about motion or anything. It was about something new that he didn't understand. And I made him get on the scale, and we worked on that for about 10 minutes, and then he paid no attention to it. So today, I don't know if the traffic trip this morning is enough for today. I'm going to take the skateboard outside, take him for a walk, and I'm going to drag the skateboard. And even if he gets very nervous about that, he's going to understand we take it somewhere, that it has a purpose. And hopefully I'll be able to have someone help me make a video of that, just to see how he reacts to it. But that's the way to introduce that to him now, to show him what it's for. He didn't know what it was. So for me, what that skateboard is, and I've used it around the house to move heavy sewing machines. So it's a little cargo thing. And I'm going to try and point that out to him today. If he seems to be nervous about it, I'll just put it away, because it might be too much all at once for him. So these are some of the things I'm doing in training a new service dog.